Two things. Just two, and then I'll be done. First, forget what it was. Completely forgot what the first thing was. Maybe I'll remember and it'll become the second thing. Second thing, well, the original second thing that's now the first thing. Has anybody ever been bothered by the fact that Buckwheat in the Little Rascals is able to remember the entire letter that Alfalfa wrote to Darla? Or, well, at least his version of the letter. But can't remember to call 911 or how to call 911? I was just thinking about that last night. Like, I was clipping my toenails and cleaning them and stuff. And, I thought of the scum between my toes from that letter. And so, like, he's the same one earlier in the movie that when the clubhouse catches fire, he doesn't remember. He says, "Hey, what's the number for 911? Can't remember 3 digits that he actually said out loud that I'm sure he's heard from his mother at least a few times. I mean, if Whoopi Goldberg is any kind of mother, she would have told her son how to call 911 in an emergency, right? I would think so. But he can remember, "Dear Darla, I hate your stinking guts. You make me vomit. You're the scum between my toes. Love, Alfalfa." He can remember that, but he can't remember how to call 911? I have a hard time with that. And he can memorize that letter, but he chases a duck with $1 tied to its foot. That one's a little more forgivable because he's like 5 and $1 is like a ton of money to a 5-year-old. At least it used to be. 5-year-olds these days are like, "Psh, I don't get out of bed for less than 10. I don't know. But it was kind of surprising to me. I've always had a great memory. I have no problem bragging about that. I can remember sets of numbers, pictures, images, locations, directions. So it's always kind of surprising to me when people don't remember things. And my wife's going to get upset with me for this portion of the video, but she's been struggling to remember things for a while. She blames it on having the baby. But I don't know. I know she's exhausted. Like, being a mom is exhausting. Because being dad makes me tired, and I know she does a lot more than I do. So I know she's exhausted and tired and stuff, and that plays a role in your memory and your retention of information. But, and I don't know, have there been studies to show that mothers after having their babies have less recall? I don't know. Never bothered to look. But whether there have or haven't, I stand by the theory, I won't say fact, but I'll say theory, that you can train your brain to remember. Because obviously that's what school is for, is training kids' brains, students' brains, to remember things. Giving, mnemonic devices and acronyms and all these things so that they can remember things easier. And then there's obviously just the practice part of it as well. If you practice remembering things, if you try to remember things, if you repeat them to yourself, eventually they become memory. So, I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said for memory loss after a pregnancy. Maybe there's not. But I do know that Buckwheat has never been pregnant. 1, he's 5. 2, he's a boy. So, how does he remember? Well, I guess that kind of goes against my point. I guess it would make more sense for me to find somebody that had been pregnant and still has a great memory. Jeopardy champions. How about that? I love Jeopardy. It's going to be time for the online test for this upcoming season soon. Looking forward to that. But there have been plenty of Jeopardy contestants and or champions that publicly recognize that they are mothers, and they do quite well on the show. So that's a fine example, probably both points that I made. One, that people that have had babies can still have good memories, but also they practice a lot. I don't practice as much on my Jeopardy knowledge. Like, I have a good general knowledge base. I know a little about a lot of things, and even a lot about a little things. Some little things. A few things. But I don't know a lot about everything, that's for sure. My weakest categories are sports, history, and government. My higher categories are literature, art, music, pop culture, spelling, that's for sure. So I struggle with dates. I guess government, not really, because I know governmental structure, both in the American and other countries. But at the American level, or the American government, and just the structure of it. But I had to drop Mary Jane off again this morning, so I got up a little bit earlier than usual. But dates are what I have probably some of the more trouble with. Is points in American and world history, time periods and eras and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I don't even know what I don't know. I don't know why I said that. It's one of those phrases that you say just to fill space, kind of like so or so, I don't know, or you know, stuff like that. There's another one, stuff like that. Okay, well, I still can't remember what the first thing was supposed to be, so maybe it'll make it into this afternoon's video. Who knows? See you then.